This Soonerscoop.com video is streaming in crystal clear 4K resolution on YouTube thanks to Enjoy Vision in Oklahoma City. From the big plays to life's everyday moments, see it all in sharp focus with LASIK at Enjoy Vision. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop LASIK.
Hello and welcome back. Eddie Rodosovich, George Stoy here from Campus Corner, the Soonerscoop.com studios. It is a Tuesday, November 4th, and bye-week Tuesday. It's kind of nice not having a game at the end of the week. Obviously, everything's going to ramp up over the next week and a half before we head down to Tuscaloosa. Very excited about that, just as much as I was about Knoxville. That turned in pretty well. We're going to just recap everything that was said after the game, a little bit of a locker room show, if you will. Welcome back. This is a William and Lauren practice report as it serves for today. Tuesday night, we'll have everything coming with the college football playoff. We'll get to that here in a second. We want to tell you about our good friends over at William and Lauren before. As the official custom clothier of OU football, William and Lauren outfits your favorite OU players in custom suits that boost their confidence off the field to match their confidence on the field. Their perfectly tailored clothing ensures every suitor stands out in comfort and style at prices that make luxury accessible. Visit William and Lauren in Oklahoma City. You can also do so in Tulsa or online at williamandlauren.com. That is williamandlauren.com. Dress like a champion and make your style as legendary as Oklahoma football. Speaking of suits, you might be hearing from some suits tonight when the college football playoff announcement comes. The first playoff ranking, top 25, comes out on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Let's both take our guess. Where do we think Oklahoma will be ranked?
I told you earlier, I think it's going to be somewhere between 11 and 15. I don't know where that's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere in that mix. You're in the playoffs. As it stands now, you win out, you're in. I think that's the one thing that Oklahoma fans need to know.
I'm super interested in the thought process tonight because there's a lot of 7-2 teams that don't have the resume that Oklahoma does. Like
you mentioned it after the game. After the game on Saturday night on the instant reaction, Oklahoma now has the second most in the country ranked wins this season. I believe it's 4 ranked wins now. So I think Alabama has the most. So obviously a big matchup in Tuscaloosa, but for example, a Notre Dame. Where does the committee see Notre Dame, who really doesn't have a ton of quality wins, but 2 really tough losses? Where do they see Miami, who's kind of fallen off? A Texas. I think Texas is going to be super interesting. Are they ranked ahead of Oklahoma since they beat OU? Sure.
Are they ranked behind them because they haven't played as well? They don't have as many ranked wins. They don't have many quality wins other than the Oklahoma game. So it's going to be fascinating tonight to see where they rank them. And then obviously they have the teleconference after and kind of hear the explanation from, I believe it's Mack Rhodes is the new chair of the committee. He's the Baylor athletic director. To hear from him. So it's one of those things. I know a lot of people out there, you got a lot of football left to be played. True, Oklahoma controls its own destiny. They win out, they're going to get in. But it is always fascinating to me, how does the committee see things in this first ranking?
And it's always fascinating to be seeing what type of idiots are putting this thing together. It's a television show. We say that every year. And then I find myself, as much as I say I don't watch it and I don't care what the rankings are, at 7:45 wondering why the hell is Mack Rhodes talking to us and acting like they didn't make some type of stupid decision. That comes with the college football playoff. We love it. All right, let's get into a little bit of Saturday post-game because obviously the vibes were good, which meant a lot of players and coaches had some good things to say after the game. And talking about a monumental win, might as well carry it over into Tuesday when you have a bye week ahead. Certainly, they did it for the first time. It seemed like it was a big win just in terms of getting over this massive hill, mountain, whatever you want to call it, that was Oklahoma and separating themselves from a big win under Brent Venables.
Well, yeah, and even, I think it's the first, road ranked win since 2019 when they beat Baylor. So not only under Brent Venables, but since, in the last 6 years. And so to be able to do that, especially in the environment that was Tennessee, super impressive. And I think you could tell after the game the emotions from the players, but really Brent Venables and the way that he spoke after the game and what this meant for them, not only this season, but for a program. I think you could tell this was a big one.
We go to the post-game locker room to hear from Brent Venables, Ben Arbuckle, and John Mateer.
Yeah, and again, if you go back to Michigan, we made a bunch of mistakes. You go back to Auburn, we made a bunch of mistakes. You go to South Carolina, that's football. And it's easy for everybody when you don't win, those mistakes are magnified, and every play, has, tremendous magnitude. I know I talked about that on Tuesday, every play. And, where sometimes you learn the hard way. And tonight, fortunately, we were able to overcome, just like Tennessee. They made plenty of mistakes too. And they still had a fighting chance there in the fourth quarter. And that's football. And it's never going to be perfect. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for where everything didn't go the right way. Perfect. That's how you grow and you improve, you get better, and we're incrementally getting a little bit better. Winning on the road at a place like this, that does a lot for, your belief and your confidence, the rhythm that you want to try to create here in the back half. And it doesn't get any easier. And but I'm thankful for the adversity that our guys were able to overcome. It'll do a lot for them and for this team.
It's just belief and confidence in who we are and what we got. Players came together last night and said what it was and know what we need to do. So coming into this environment is an amazing environment. I mean, everybody knows that. It was awesome. And being able to come out on top, that doesn't happen a whole lot in this stadium. So the fact we did it was pretty cool.
Ultimately, we just want to come in here and go 1-0, and we wanted to just figure out a way to get it done. I'm sure there's a lot of different scenarios with postseason play and how the season could go. Whether we won or lost, I'm sure it would have, jumbled up a whole bunch of different things. But at the end of the day, we didn't worry about anything like that. We talked about wanting to figure out a way to get this win, and our kids came out there and they figured out a way. For everyone's confidence, I think it just instills even more belief, and it's even a good tool of affirmation. Just, hey guys, what y'all are doing, how y'all are working at practice, how y'all are preparing, it's not going unnoticed, and y'all aren't, bearing the fruits of it, if you will. I don't even know if that's the right kind of saying for it, but what y'all are doing and how y'all are working, it's translating. And that's a great thing for us to be able to go into this bye week with and continue to build on, and ultimately finish out this the remainder of this regular season really strong.
Yeah, no, just affirmation. It all starts with vision. You got to see it. You got to play the moment. You got to walk it through, and then belief foundationally. That's what it's all about. And you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in this opportunity. You got to believe in your teammate. You got to believe in the coach. You got to believe in the game plan. You got to take action after that. And it takes that, man. You gotta walk the walk. You have to kick the door in type of mindset. That's how tough and challenging it is. It takes those three things to win on the road, and then again, just celebrated their will, their toughness, their belief. A team that's hey man, when are we gonna bring real respect to the name on the front of our jerseys? There's gonna be some type of a narrative at the end of tonight, and it should look like we're bringing respect to the name. And when are we gonna be tired? Enough is enough. Where we've got to be able to overcome. We've got to make our plays. We got to close someone out. And so tonight was just kind of a start for that. You get one shot, you get one kill. That's it. You don't get to go back and do this again. So making the most of our opportunity, figuring it out, finding a way. My hope and my expectation and my belief is that we'll be able to build on that and all the things that I just said, and become part of our identity. This football team. Leaving your mark and doing something that maybe for some people is unthinkable.
Brent Venables after the game, certainly, I know that he was happy. You heard the locker room behind him. A loud locker room after a game certainly means that Oklahoma's played well. It was good to see, good for the program. Now you got to build on it, right? And a part of the reason, outside of the 3 turnovers that kept him in the game, and Tate Sandell, who was the MVP on Saturday, was John Mateer and his play in the second half. I don't know what it was. After he broke off the 22-yard run on the 3rd and 18, it seemed like it sparked something. I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden he found himself a little bit more in rhythm than we've seen here over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he looked more comfortable. I don't know if that was the play calling and doing some different stuff that kind of got him out of the pocket, or just his mentality. It felt like he kind of let it go and was loose in the second half, kind of playing with what do we have to lose here? And you heard Brent say too, it was an attack mindset. Hey, let's go win the football. game type of mindset. That's what you want from your quarterback. And he wasn't perfect, but he looked a lot better in terms of what we've seen from him earlier in the season, whether that was running the ball or even throwing the ball. Some of the stuff that he made and the reads were really good. He didn't make any bad reads, I thought, especially in the second half. And if he plays like he did in the second half, Eddie, Oklahoma's going to be a really tough football team to beat.
12 for 16, 153 yards. Obviously had the really, really, really unfortunate interception there in the fourth quarter that made things a little bit tight. It's easy to laugh about it now. Here is the same trio in Brent Venables, Ben Arbuckle, and John Mateer talking about the second half for Oklahoma offensively.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I thought we played with a better rhythm. Sometimes that's him making good decisions. Sometimes that's the play caller getting us in and out of the right kind of plays and establishing the run. I thought the quick game that we played with, a lot of the three-step game was, there's some free access. Take what they're giving you, and that helps you stay on schedule. So I just thought we stayed on schedule, didn't press, got into a great rhythm running and passing, and we didn't make a lot of mistakes. We made some critical conversions that helped create confidence and momentum, in the second half, and I thought we played in a really precise, accurate, confident, yet aggressive, way. I thought we played to win. We played to win. And I thought that at the end of the day showed up.
There was just a few little things in the first half, whether it was execution error or just an operation or maybe a communication error that kind of kept us from continuously moving the ball down the field. But it was just the flow of the game. There was no worry whenever we went to halftime because we knew we had everything that we wanted. And so just being able to come out early and be able to get some stuff going, that was good for everyone's confidence going out there. And they played their tails off in the second half and just continued to keep believing.
How about John's second half performance? What got him going?
Really all night he had great eyes. Really put the ball where it needed to be. There's probably a time or two I could have put us in a better situation, but for the majority of the night in the second half, he just got a really good rhythm, taking good easy things underneath and hitting that nice little shot to Isaiah right over here in this corner right here. So at that moment, I knew that he was just feeling it. He did a great job of feeling the box all night too. Just whenever we did the +1 run game. He was really just in a good headspace all day, all night, had great feet, operated well. Just proud of how he responded.
Yeah, I think it was a lot better, a lot calmer, and there's still some situations where I dropped my eyes too early, but overall we got the job done and it was good enough.
Second half, what was it about what you guys were doing? It just seemed like you were in a much better rhythm.
Yeah, so just the ability to run the ball and knowing what they were giving us, and shout out to the O-line, and they're just putting in the work and making it happen.
John, how big was that throw to Satania for you and your confidence moving forward in the second half?
The one on the sideline over here? Yeah, it was. I put it where I needed to put it, and it came off the right way and got right over the underneath defender. And so I was like, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. And we knew when we got in the red zone we were going to have some success. So.
It looked like the burst was back in your running game tonight. Were you feeling better, or was it game plan, or what?
I knew that it was going to take some of that to win, and some games are different, It opens up, and you make a couple guys miss, and it becomes a thing, But I don't feel like I approached it any differently. It just kind of happened.
What's just this week been like, going from where you were last Saturday to now, and the way that you guys were able to perform tonight?
Yeah, it's been a long week. I think for all of us, waiting that 7 days to play another football game is a long time, and it goes slow, But we had a good week of practice like we usually do, and we were able to get it done.
The way you did second half, the offense comes on. Is this the highlight so far of your time in Norman?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it happened an hour ago, so I haven't really reflected on it. It is awesome. This is awesome, but pretty sure there's more highlights that are going to come.
Take a quick time out from the practice report to tell you about our good friends over at Huel. We've done so here over the last couple weeks, and the chaos of the boardings. I have a ready-to-made breakfast every morning, and I don't have to worry about it because I take some of the powder, I throw it in here, shake it up, and then we're ready to go.
That's really good.
It.
400 calories, 40 grams of protein. I mean, that's the good stuff.
And then I yell into a microphone for 3 hours, and there's like 3 people listening. Thank you to my parents.
That's great. I love the daily greens too. I know Kerry does as well. He's also had the ready to drink meal here that's really simple and fast. But the daily greens, 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods. Lion's Mane mushroom, 4 grams of fiber. Get your electrolytes in as well. So that's the good stuff right there.
Also got the blueberry, the apple, the peach. Very good items from Huel delivered right to your door. All you got to do is go to Huel.com/SoonerScoop. For new customers, 15% off with the promo code SoonerScoop. Thank you to our good friends over at Huel. Once again, that is Huel.com/SoonerScoop. 15% off if you use the code for the new customers. Thank you to our good friends. Let's get back to the recruiting report. Oklahoma fans certainly hope that comes a week from Saturday down in Tuscaloosa, a little Bryant-Denny Stadium for you. One of the main themes here over the last couple of weeks has been an improved run game. Oklahoma goes 35 for 192 on Saturday in Knoxville, 5.5 yards per rush, and a lot of credit goes to an offensive line that was starting a trio of very, very young players in Ryan Foje, Michael Fasusi, as well as Eddie Pierre-Louis.
Yeah, 3 guys that are the future of this offensive line. We talked a lot in the offseason about Michael Fasusi and Ryan Foje, and will they be starters by the end of the year? And look where we are.
Sure,
both of them are starting.
I really hadn't even thought about that, but sure enough.
Here they are. They're both starting for Oklahoma. And that's not ideal in some ways, but also at the same time, I think it's great. And both those guys are playing well. And then you forget about a guy like Eddie Pierre-Louis, who we didn't see a ton of last year, but what we've seen this year is a physical player who kind of brings a spark to the offense and is moving guys off the ball. And I think you're seeing that the last couple of weeks, and even the South Carolina game. This offensive line feels like it's kind of coming together, and it's centered around those 3. And obviously it's exciting for this year and what can happen, down the stretch in these final 3 games and whatever is beyond that. But even next year, you get those 3 guys back. Jake Michaela is expected to be back next year. There's 4 of your 5 on the starting offensive line. Hito Zaida could slide into one of those other guard spots. So, it's super exciting. And for those 3 to go into this environment this past week, Eddie Pierre-Louis makes his first start. Ryan Foje makes his first road start. To play as well as they did against that type of opponent in that type of atmosphere, I think says a lot about those guys and their ceilings.
And we should mention, I know talking to Ryan Foje going into last week post-practice before they went to Knoxville, he certainly had talked about Fabechi and how well he had done just from a mentorship of working with him on the right side of Oklahoma's offensive line. Brent Venables, Ben Arbuckle both talked about Oklahoma's offensive line on Saturday after the game, as well as Xavier Robinson, who has been fantastic here of the last couple of weeks carrying the football for Oklahoma. Here are the coaches.
Yeah, I think they just kept everything in between the lines. That was something that we preached, these 103, 105, however many thousand people here, they're not playing the game. Nothing really matters other than what's going on in between the lines. And I thought we did a great job this week of stressing communication, and they took it out there. They communicated their butts off. Over-communicated. And at the end of the day, they didn't let any moment get too big for them. They played their tails off, and I'm really proud of them.
Listen, in this day and age, we better take care of them. And everybody on the planet going to be coming for them guys. And but no, man, they've again, we bragged about them, those 3 guys last week. What they're doing is not normal. They're playing, again, just 2 weeks. But again, we've been talking about those guys for a little while too. And but Ryan and Mike and Eddie and the rest of the guys, up front, what they've been able to do the last couple of weeks, what they were able to do tonight, nothing short of amazing. And I don't want to gas them. I'm not really into gassing, but man, they deserve the credit, man. They didn't play like true freshmen.
Coach Bedenbow, did a really good job this week of just game planning and working on stuff like that, especially in that +1 run game area. I thought the whole coaching staff did, but it's what they were giving us. It was the looks that they were giving us. It was a lot of the stuff that we had worked on and that we had practiced, and so guys were just executing. We had unbelievable blocks on all of those plays. If you go back and watch it, the ones that especially ripped, everybody doing their job, being in unison, and that's what it takes on every play for every play to work. So.
Seems like the tight ends were a big help on those too as well, and on the outside with the quarterback.
Yeah, they were awesome, fitting up second-level backers and everything tonight. And again, they just took practice to the game field, guys. I mean, it was they put in the week of preparation, the week of work. Coach Finley got them right and got them ready to roll, and they did a great job tonight. Yeah, tough, physical. He's hard to take down. He's a smart kid. He's a sharp kid. He's very mellow too. Never too high, never too low. So I think that adds to a level of consistency with him. But he just brings it. I mean, every single day in practice and inside drill, whenever we get to the game, it was good to see him because things weren't just popping in the first half. We're popping. But he stayed true to his assignments and kept on running tough and physical, and ultimately a lot of really good things happened. So I'm proud of that kid.
Ben, his decision to go down on the half-yard line, what were your thoughts when it took place?
I mean, we work it every week, and so we work it every week. Just one of those moments that, whenever he did that, it put us kind of in the driver's seat to ultimately decide what we wanted to do right there. We knew we were going to score, if we wanted to right there, and so it was a good, smart ball play, a selfless ball play by him, and, took practice to the game field.
You certainly hear a little bit more spirit in Brent Venables' voice when he's talking about that trio of young freshmen, and it's something that you can build around. And you wrote about it on SoonerScoop.com. People can go read it for just $1 today here on Tuesday afternoon. Two more items to get through here on the William and Lauren practice report, and two guys that were singled out by the conference on Monday. Owen Heineke is who we'll start with, Defensive Player of the Week, making his first start, a young man from the mean streets of Tulsa, Bishop Kelly High School.
Yep.
You're not a homer for talking about him because he's worth talking about. 13 tackles on the afternoon. Obviously had the massive play that sparked R. Mason Thomas's 71-yard scoop and score, but what a day for Owen Heineke. And I think if anybody would have asked, if you would have asked him, even maybe some of his family members, I know you've talked about it or you wrote about it, coming in from playing lacrosse at Ohio State to starting against Tennessee and winning SEC Defensive Player of the Week. That's pretty cool in and of itself.
Yeah.
He's having a hell of a year.
He's been awesome. Kind of one of the defensive MVPs, if you will, and a story that, I don't think a lot of people expected, but he's been great. I think he's shown sort of his athleticism, his speed at the position, but also just his knowledge. Like, I don't know if people realize, and you'll hear some of it in the interview, but the complexities of this defense and going from, Will linebacker, where he's played pretty much his entire time in Norman, to just this week having to go to Mike linebacker, fill in for Kobe McKenzie, get the helmet communication for the first time and be the one calling out the defense. That's an extremely difficult thing to do and to learn in a week's time. So
a lot of trust too coming from a coaching staff to put him in that spot.
I mean, the mental capacity to do that is astounding. So he was awesome, and he just seems to be everywhere on this defense. Like, when he is in the game, he is around the football in some way. So I thought he played tremendous, and obviously just a very cool story, and he's an easy guy to root for.
Playing alongside Kip Lewis, who had a fantastic day as well on Saturday. Here is a little bit more from Owen Heineke, Brent Venables, as well as his linebacker mate, Kip Lewis.
Take us through the strip sack there and R. Mason taking it back for the touchdown.
Yeah, we got a call in, and normally in that call I get kicked out by the tackle. I'm kind of the sacrificial lamb, and this time he went down. I think it was maybe a little bit of miscommunication on their part, and came free. I almost stuttered for a second because I was so free. I felt like something was maybe wrong. Tackled him, didn't really realize the ball was out until I saw R. Mason running all the way, and he took it 99 yards. I just made that up. He took it however far, and I watched him the whole way. So pretty surreal moment, especially in this stadium. This atmosphere was awesome.
Getting the start today, what did that mean to you, and what was that preparation like this week?
Yeah, losing Kobe's not an easy thing for this defense. We call him the field general, so he does a great job of getting everybody ready each play, especially versus a team that does a lot of tempo like Tennessee. So losing him was definitely a shot, but all week, we weren't sure if he was going to be playing or not, and I got to fill the role. So, the preparation throughout the week was intense, it was a position that I hadn't been playing a whole bunch of, so I had to make the learning curve pretty steep. But, we got out here, we executed, and the whole defense played really well, and everybody had each other's backs out there. So it's pretty awesome to get a start in an atmosphere like this. It's what you dream about as a kid, so it was awesome.
Yeah, he played out of his mind. First start, get 12 tackles in the first half. I'm like, where the hell did he go in the second half? He only had 1 tackle. Yeah, really proud of him and thankful. And he's really become a really good leader and player, and he was fantastic tonight.
Oh, amazing. That kid is a ball player. I love Owen. I just try to pour my all into him because the only thing you can do is just love Owen, man. He's an amazing guy.
Onto the ball. The whole defense did a great job of bottling up the run, and, the run is something that they really want to get going because it opens up those deeper shots. So we were just flowing to the ball as a defense tonight. I think we held them like 7 yards or something like that, so everybody did a great job of being gap sound, especially against a very physical Tennessee O-line, and so just fit those gaps and getting to play behind our D-line is something that's pretty special, and they make it pretty easy for us. So it's kind of see ball, get ball with them. So that's what we did.
Awesome story with Owen Heineke developing here for Oklahoma. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on Kobe McKenzie. I know that I think the early indication is maybe he'll be able to be back for the game in Alabama.
Bye week comes at a good time.
Next Saturday. But certainly he's going to be a part of this defense moving forward here over the next 3 games. And then obviously whatever comes with the postseason. The reason Oklahoma found themselves in the winner's circle on Saturday night was none other than Tate Sandell. What a fantastic story. I guess we're a little bit biased in thinking this, but he needs to be a finalist for the Lou Groza. He's been fantastic. 18 for 19 on the season, leads the SEC at 95%. He's made 18 straight, and of course, the fantastic day that he had on Saturday night at Neyland Stadium. 3 kicks over 50 yards, also added the 40-yarder. He's just been fantastic.
Yeah, and he actually was named the Lou Groza Player of the Week
there you go.
Today.
Okay.
So, congrats to him, but the SEC Player of the Week on Monday, well-deserved. I mean, this guy's been phenomenal. I think you said 18 in a row, I think. Obviously he missed that first one against Michigan. I
know, and everybody thought, oh, God, here we go again.
I know. But, this goes back to the spring transfer portal and Oklahoma being able to find him. They missed out on Mason Shipley, who's now at Texas. And that was kind of a big loss. I remember everybody being like, oh, man, they really need to get a kicker, and they missed out on him. They end up landing, Tate Sandell, and he had a really good year at UTSA, but it's one thing to kick there in a dome and obviously not as big of a stage. To come to Oklahoma and do what he's done, it's just been phenomenal, and he's been a big difference maker in a league that you play a lot of close football games. To have someone that you feel confident, trotting out there at 50-plus yards, that's a huge weapon.
He's now 8 for 8 from 45 yards plus this season. Tied the school record with kicks of single game record at Tennessee. His 4 field goals in 55, 51, 40, 55 Crazy. Again. Obviously, we talked about the Neyland Stadium record that he now holds at 55 yards. I think because he kicked 2 of them, he should have his name. He should have like a little asterisk
name the stadium
next
after
to it.
Sandell Stadium.
Sandell Stadium. I think he would like that. Certainly somebody that when we talked to Doug Deacon for the first time this season after the game on Saturday night, you just really enjoy kind of his story and the way that he's been brought up. I know that Brent Venables loves the guy, as you'll hear now. Here is Tate Sandell, Doug Deacon, as well as Brent Venables.
I mean, I just try to give it as good of a shot as I can, and whatever happens, happens. I try not to, it's hard to see over the line anyways, so I can't really see. So I kind of just listen for the crowd, really. But the first one I know.
Tate, Brent's told us a lot about just your confidence. So where does that come from?
It comes from my mom. It definitely comes from my mom. She she raised us, just be comfortable in your own skin, and my dad as well. And it's just, God's given me the ability that's, it's rare, and I embrace it. It's fun. It's very fun. It's fun.
Any nerves coming into an environment like this?
Yeah, I mean, there are nerves, but that doesn't have to be a double-edged sword. You use that sword like the other side of the team. It's something that you just got to embrace, and just it's gonna happen. If you're not nervous, you're lying. You don't care. So I care about the team. It was a good day.
When you were recruiting Tate Sandell out of the portal, did you know he could do what he did tonight?
Tate it was very super evident to me how special he was at UTSA. He has great technique. What was best when he went in the portal is getting on the phone with him. He's mowing his lawn, and that's the type of young man that he is. He's very blue collar, 2 great parents, very level-headed, and super talented. So yes, evaluated him as one of the top returning specialists, and once he got in the portal, shoot, he was my first call.
Just his confidence, his belief, his readiness. You know, he's like a a middle linebacker, that's on an A-gap blitz. That's who he is every time he lines up. He is fearless, and he doesn't lack for confidence. And as I bragged on him, just who he is, day in and day out on the practice field. He wants to get in front of the team. He wants to do his thing. Hey, man, come check me out. Watch this. Get a load of this. And so it's kind of refreshing, I'll be honest, because he can back it up.
Another day at the office. Seriously, every kick is a game-winning kick to him. And it's funny because at practice, he'll have a miss, and he's his worst critic and is hard on himself, like to where I don't even need to overemphasize anything other than your plant foot's a little too tight. Gotcha, coach. And then he responds in the exact right way that you hope as a coach.
For a kicker, how much is it, the technique, the physical traits, how much of it is mental?
Gosh, it's everything. Between the ears is everything as a kicker. Because so much is dependent on your snapper and Ben Anderson, Ulrich, the holder, and then the protection was phenomenal. This was no easy test with Tennessee bearing down in full send rush, but to answer your question, it is very much mental. His technique is very good. He is seldom having errors in his technique, and the best part about him is what's between his ears. And he knows if there is a mishit, exactly before I even open my mouth, he knows exactly what the error was.
I yelled at him a couple of days ago when he missed one. Where he got one kick in practice the right way, and believe it or not, he didn't make it. And he responded. He's one of them guys that you can rattle his cage a little bit, and he's gonna give it back to you. So it's great.
I don't know if Brent Venables like history with his relationships with kickers, but I think that Tate Sandell and Brent Venables mighty close here over the last couple of weeks, and certainly over the last 4 weeks. He's now made a school record 4 field goals of 55-plus yards. That all comes in the last 5 games. A couple other notes from just Tate Sandell, Mike Houck and company putting these together. He's the first FBS kicker since 2021 to make 3-plus 50-yard field goals in a game. That ties an FBS record. This is the one that kind of took me off guard. He's the first FBS kicker since 2011. That's 14 years, basically, to make 2 55-plus yard field goals in a road game.
Wow. That's insane. I didn't know that one. I mean, he's been incredible. And it's going to be hard for him or anybody to top the performance he had on Saturday at Neyland Stadium. Like I really truly believe it's the greatest OU kicking performance in school history. And that's like a crazy statement to say, but I think it's true.
Yeah. I think the further you get out away from the game and like the more that I like go back and even watch that last one, the 55-yarder that just barely crawled over the crossbar, as we talked about on the Game Day Rewind. Pretty incredible. And if Oklahoma's going to make a run here over the next month, I think he's going to play a big part of that, especially if they can continue to get turnovers, the like, that put them into position to take advantage of some other teams' I guess, dissuccess.
I don't know what
F-ups is, I think, the term I was going to go for. All right, that's going to do it. William and Lauren Practice Report did want to give you a little bit more from the big win on Saturday night at Neyland Stadium. Obviously, once again, have the college football playoff selection or the top 25 rankings coming out for the first time on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN. George will be on the conference call in case anything is said. And, of course, if we have to attack somebody like it is January 6th. All right, for George Stoia, I'm Eddie Radosevich. We'll see you back here on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel.